So let's talk about sacrifice for a little bit. Um, what have you sacrificed lately? What have you given up? How much of yourself have you given up in order to achieve a result coming down the pipeline? You know, the light at the end of the tunnel. What have you sacrificed in order to get to the other side? Getting there from there. Getting here from there. You know, and many people have stories about sacrifices they've made to get to a particular point in their lives, and it's really necessary. It's one of those things that, unless absolutely everything has been given to you, you must go through. And even then, you know, you could come into this world with everything, and there are still sacrifices you may have to make. They're not as, maybe not as huge as individuals who have to hike, um, 12 miles to get a little pail of water and bring it back. Um, but sacrifice is sacrifice. Now, my brain automatically goes to sports because it's been a part of my life for so long, playing baseball, that um, the sacrifices I've made in my life have been in and around athletics. So when I think of sacrifice, my mind goes to, in like the high school years or university, maybe not going out to that party because I had a game the next day, or I had a practice the next day, or a tryout, or, you know, some kind of workout going on, or even personal relationships. When someone is gone 6, 7 months out of the year pursuing their passion, in different cities, playing around on a bus, um, that's not always something that a partner wants to be a part of, and that right there is a sacrifice because you're kind of choosing what you do over retaining personal relationships. What I did was chosen over having a girlfriend, and that's a sacrifice of self. So when I think about sacrifice, it's just such a broad spectrum. Um, I know that my mother would do absolutely anything for me. If there was one pack of raisins left in the house and that's all we could eat because we couldn't go outside, if there was some natural disaster or a zombie apocalypse or something, I know that she would give that pack of raisins to me. So within sacrifice, we can't say that there are different emotions. There could be love, there could be hate, there could be admiration, there could be anxiety within this one conversation. But sacrifice, I feel, is one of those things that must be recognized, because I don't think you ever fully conquer sacrifice, something like sacrifice, because there's always something else. You achieve one thing and you say it's human nature. We achieve one thing and we want more. We want to achieve more. And what do you have to do in order to get there? Sacrifice. I want to buy my first house. So right now I'm going to cut out going out and eating out with my friends, and I'm going to cut internet because these are things I don't really need. I want to get that first house. I want to buy my first car. So what am I going to do? I'm going to maybe deliver pizzas during the school year and try to save up enough where I can get my first car and the insurance to then put that car on the road. Now, these are things that I think a lot of people can relate to when I'm talking about this sort of sacrifice. But then I'll come back to the question of what have you sacrificed in order to attain your ultimate goal? Because we can sit here and talk about I got invited to dinner and I had to pay my phone bill so I didn't go to dinner. I'm not talking about that so much, although that is a form of sacrifice. But what I'm saying is that you have an ultimate goal. I want to be a CEO. I want to speak in front of people and help change the way people view the world. I want to be a professional athlete. I want to be the best father I can be. I'm talking about those kind of goals. What have you done in order to put yourself in a situation to attain that ultimate goal? And for a lot of people, they struggle because when you talk about ultimate sacrifice, what have you done? There's always excuses that come up. I would do this if I could do this. Or, you know what? If I was a millionaire, I would quit my job and sail around the world because that's what I really want to do. And the kind of cynical view within me says, okay, so how do you think those millionaires who are now sailing around the world got to that point? Some of them maybe were born into it. You're right, maybe. But I know for a fact that not all of them were born into riches and crown jewels. It's just not how the world works. So if you want to tell me that those people who are living out their dreams right now didn't have to sacrifice and everything came easy, then we really have to, together, we have to reevaluate a few things and maybe put a little bit of realism in your tea today. So that's what this is about. That's what this little chat is about. It's really about sacrifice in terms of getting to the destination or your perceived destination of where you want to be. Because it'll always change. You know, you get one goal, like I said, on to the next one. It's human nature, it's what we do, and maybe it's why we're still here on earth. But there must be sacrifices made in order to move forward with anything in this life, and especially with anything worth doing. You know, so in the sporting realm, maybe I can give you a bit of an example. Just so I want to make sure that you're with me here, because so in baseball you have the different levels. You know, rookie ball, single A, double A, triple A, and then you get to the big leagues, the guys you see running around on TV. And very few, actually it's a really good example for life, because few people go from being amateur straight to the highest level because they have the talent to just shoot through there. They have the opportunity to be at the top of their game almost, never quite, but almost instantaneously in the mind of the viewer, the observer, which is what we are in this story. But for so many, you spend years, you spend years in single A, then you get that promotion, double A, get another promotion, triple A, and you're on the cusp of your dream. But what are you doing still? Sacrificing. Do you think that just because you're in triple A, now you're a millionaire, you bought mom a house, you bought mom a car, and you're just basking in it, show up to the park, yeah, maybe I'll play. It's not like that. You go every day and you have to prove your worth. So that's what I really want to harp on today, is sacrifice for something that you believe in. If you want to be the best bungee jumper in the world, you're going to have to find the place where the best bungee jumpers go to train. Will that be in your hometown? Maybe, if you're fortunate. But chances are, you're going to have to travel, or you're going to have to send an email or a phone call and say, hey, how can I get started? And say, well, you need maybe this equipment to practice, and then the rest is, you have to take 15 minutes out of your day to visualize your jump, and that's a way to practice until you can make it here with the big boys. That's a sacrifice. So nothing comes easy, and nothing worth doing will come easily. So if you're faced with a situation and you have to choose between being your future self and looking yourself in the mirror and being content, or with being uncomfortable for an hour, a day, maybe a week, a month, a year, as long as your heart is still beating in your chest, that means you're still here. You're still alive, which means you can keep going. So if you have a goal in mind and the only thing stopping you is you, maybe it's time to reevaluate a little bit. Because there's no one to blame, there's no one to lean on, there's no one to help you escape. But if you have something in your mind, a passion, a goal, a life, a future you, and you really want to achieve that glory, you will find a way to get there, and I believe in you. Sacrifice is just a part of the road. It's a part of the long, windy road that we're all driving on to get to where we want to be, to get to who we want to be. So maybe that'll put it in perspective just a little bit for you. Maybe you needed a push today. Maybe you just needed someone saying that we're all in the same boat. We're all grinding it out. We all suffer. And we can all celebrate. And I'd rather suffer to celebrate, not celebrate to suffer. So what sacrifice are you going to make? What sacrifice have you made lately to better yourself and become the person that you want to be?